Hi everyone, my name is Alexandria Glaude, and today I will be presenting to you the research I've done thus far on the commodification of black bodies. Now, given everything going on currently, there's still a lot of research to be done for my project, but there's a lot of great findings I've been able to find so far. So today I will just be presenting to you what I've found, why I am deciding to study this, and what my plans are moving forward in developing my study more thoroughly. So, to start, I want to talk about what exactly a commodity is. So, just when typing in the word commodity on Google, here are some of the definitions that came up for me. I found that a commodity is a raw material or primary agricultural product that can be bought and sold, such as copper or coffee. In economics, a commodity is an economic good or service that has full or substantial fungibility. That is, the market treats instances of the good as equivalent or nearly so with no regard to whom produced them. So, what is considered a commodity? Usually, something that can be sold, something that has profit or is of great value. Usually, you don't think of a commodity as a person. So, that brings us to this black bodies as commodity. Throughout history, especially in American culture, black bodies have been used for the profit of others, and rarely with one receiving even a fraction of their life's work. Slavery was outlawed generations ago, however, its roots are still deeply embedded in our society and are still present in America's various societal structures. So, this class is sociology of sport, and I thought it would be fitting to look into the sociology of sport in terms of race and how, in the sporting institutions of this country, it's pretty apparent how the process and all of the different structures that go into sport are very similar to that of slavery. The purpose of this study is to showcase modern day slavery linking back to current sporting procedures, facts, and data to back the systems that enabled slavery in the first place. We will focus on how oppression has extended its hand into the sporting industry. Individuals may receive what's considered a large sum for their hard work, but it pales in comparison to the extravagant amount received by owners, and it comes at a cost no dollar can amount. That is true freedom of speech. So, some of the themes that I've decided to focus on in reading the different sources that I've found, the ones that seemed most prevalent to me are the struggle for identity, treatment, and the selection process in choosing athletes to be a part of certain programs, whether it be baseball, football, or basketball. Now, not really surprisingly, the most common research that's been done has been focused on the sport of basketball and the sport of football because those two sports seem to have the largest disparity in race and in contract worth. So, under the struggle for identity, the biggest thing that I found was that being a black athlete is a multidimensional identity, and that there's several moving parts. As far as treatment goes, I plan to look into how these athletes are treated in comparison to their white counterparts and the expectation of them. So this is where we see the infringement of freedom of speech. As you can see, I have pictures here of black protesters, and so I'm thinking about looking into what the expectation is for them, if they are able to really be prideful in their black identity, or if there's certain stipulations that go into being a part of these larger sporting industries. And the last thing I want to look into is the selection process. So this is really where I find the sporting industry to be akin to slavery. When you look at the draft in the combine specifically, there's a lot of different similarities that I have found, and that's really what drew me to this research in the first place. My methodology the literature compiled in my study brings up several ways in which sports are akin to slavery and how these ideologies are still currently prevalent in today's society, more specifically sporting institutions. I found that qualitative research is the most proper approach in analyzing as well as connecting these important details. Different scholars have done an exceptional job in breaking down the different variables within this issue and highlighting all aspects that must be taken into consideration when delving deeper into this research. So, my goal of this research is to compile supporting data to showcase the overwhelming themes and presence of slavery and oppression in sports currently. The sources I plan to break down into common themes, as I have stated earlier, and try to present them in a more cohesive manner. Previously done studies have included media coverage, and I'm thinking that will probably be my main source of analysis. So, looking forward, as I previously stated, I want to look into media coverage of these athletes and their treatment. And I'm even considering sending out a survey to our own McKendree Bearcats to see what their input includes. But like I said earlier, there's still a lot of research that needs to be done. I'm really excited to be diving deep into this. This is a topic that I think is extremely prevalent in today's society. And while it might be a big idea, I know that there's a lot of content out there and a lot of research to unpack. And a lot of research has already been done. So this is what I have thus far. And there's still a lot to uncover. But like I said, it's a really important topic to understand. And I hope this piques interest for whoever is listening today. Here are my sources. And thank you all for listening to my presentation today. Bye. Hello, everybody. My name is Alexandria Glaude. Today, I will present. Ugh, that was bad. Hello, everybody. My name is Alexandria Glaude. Today, I will be presenting to you all the commodification of black bodies. Now, my research is yet to be finished. There's still a lot of moving parts that need to be completed. So today, I will mainly just be sharing with you all what I've found thus far, the purpose of this study, what piqued my interest, and what my plans are moving forward in developing this research. To start, it's important to understand what exactly a commodity is. Just when typing the word commodity into Google, I found these two definitions that I thought would really help paint the picture for us getting started. A commodity is a raw material or primary agricultural product that can be bought and sold, such as copper or coffee. In economics, a commodity is an economic good or service that has full or substantial fungibility. That is, the market treats instances of the good as equivalent or nearly so with no regard to who produced them. This second definition really stood out to me. So when you think what is considered a commodity, it's usually some sort of good that can be sold. Not usually a person. That's not usually what I would think of, at least. So that brings us to black bodies as commodity. Throughout history, especially in American culture, black bodies have been used for the profit of others, and rarely with one receiving even a fraction of their life's work. Slavery was outlawed generations ago. However, its roots are still deeply embedded in our society and are still present in America's various societal structures. This is the main reason that drew me to this research in the first place, is the fact that while slavery was outlawed a long time ago, there's still a lot of remnants that are very much visible today. And I just really want to make that apparent and thought that my research would be a great way to showcase that. That being said, the purpose of this study is to showcase modern-day slavery, linking it to current sporting procedures, facts, and data to back the systems that enabled slavery. I will focus on how oppression has extended into the sporting industry. Yes, individuals may receive what is considered a large sum for their hard work, but it pales in comparison to the extravagant amount received by owners, and it comes at no cost a dollar can amount to. True freedom of speech. So in order to really understand this study moving forward, it's important to have historical context. So in order to get to the root of the topic, we have to understand its beginnings. African people were stolen from their country, forcefully brought across the Atlantic, and viewed as a commodity. As we looked at the definition of commodity earlier, commodities usually are not people, except African people were treated as such. Through the process of chattel slavery, African people were stripped of their lives, they were separated from their families and forced into intensive labor over new lands, beaten and stripped of almost every aspect of their identities. They were dehumanized. Exploitation of black people became the norm in America, which created a new means of economy. The brutalization, punishment, rape, and overall mistreatment of black people had no repercussions because, in the eyes of white America, they were property, they were a commodity, so they had the rights to treat their property however they desired. The themes that I wanted to focus on in this study are the struggle for identity, treatment of the athletes, and the selection process. Now, when compiling the different journals and resources and references I was looking into, there were so many different themes that I could have chosen to focus on. I just felt like these three were the most prevalent. Struggle for identity includes the fact that being a black athlete is a multi-dimensional identity. So there's several moving parts. You're not just an athlete, you're not just a black person, you're not just any single thing. There's a lot of different identities that one is responding to. I want to look into the treatment of these athletes and the expectation of them in comparison to their white teammates. This is where I found that freedom of speech is the most infringed upon. And lastly, the selection process. This is the one theme that is kind of the basis of this study. When looking at the drafts and the combine specifically, these are the most akin to slavery. Looking forward, I plan to look at media analysis and see how black athletes are covered in the media and what type of verbiage is used, and try to get a feel overall of like the societal view of black athletes in sport. And then I'm considering sending out a survey to my other fellow McKendree Bearcats to see what their input is on this topic, but I'm just not sure yet. Like I said, there's still a lot of research and moving parts to be done on my end. However, I know that there's a lot of information out there, and there's already been a lot of great research done thus far. It's mainly just about pulling it together at this point. Here are my references, the sources I've used thus far, and they're all really, really great. A lot of them have pretty much touched on what I'm studying so far, just more sports specific, and my goal is to just go through each of these and really tie it together and hone in on this topic. So that's where I'm at thus far. Thank you all for listening to my presentation today, and if you're a student listening to this, good luck to you and the rest of your semesters, and I hope everyone is doing well. Again, thank you for tuning in today, and I hope to be connected with you all soon.